Friends, it's Gloria from Golden Bucket Farm. I'm the Jersey Lady 1 here on YouTube. And today I made two videos. One about making file folder albums, and one about making file folder folios, which you can make with pages or you can make them gatefold, depending on how they're cut the same. It's just depending on how you fold them. So that's the other video. But yay, somebody was watching and made a comment about the video on the file folder albums. And they said, I'm confused, or maybe I'm confusing. Could I do a step-by-step? So yeah, now things have kind of conspired against me, and this is, count them, deux, trois, 3 times. So hopefully third time is a charm on making this. So you can make two styles of folder or albums using this same method. One has a smooth edge where, you know, those tabs that are on the top of the file folders, you cut them off. This is the easier one because you don't have to fit the pattern paper onto those tabs, okay? Or you can make this style, is where I left the tabs on, as you can see here. I'll get it over where you can see. I've already started putting some of my vintage family photos in here. As you can see, I get these different length pages when you leave the tabs on, and that all depends on whether you use the left tab, the middle tab, or the right tab, or you use some of each. You need 2 file folders to make one album, okay? Because you cut each file folder in half. So you get 4 pages from one half. So a whole file folder gives you 8 pages, and 2 file folders gives you 16 pages, or a cover front and back, and the 14 inside. Okay. Alrighty. So what you need to start with are file folders, and I had several different kinds. The 2 that I looked at when I was making my projects today, some were from Dollar Tree and some were from Walmart, and it seems like they both measured 11 and 5/8 wide. That doesn't seem to vary, but this measurement kind of might a little bit. It doesn't make any difference on the album if you're going to make the one with the tabs on, but it does make a difference if you're making the smooth one, the really easier one. Okay, so let's talk cutting and measuring and cutting a little bit. I don't like dealing with anything smaller than 1/8 of an inch. So to make my base here to work with, I cut off 1/8 because it was 11 and 5/8, so I took 1/8 off the edge on my trimmer, and that left me with 11 and a half. Well, that I can divide because I know half of 11 and a half is 5 3/4. So once I got that 1/8 of an inch off, then I just measured in 5 3/4 inches, and that gave me, well, I did that on each of my file folders. that gave me, you know, something that looks like this. And I did it on 2 file folders, so I have 4. Okay, and as you can see here, there's different configurations then for your, you know, for each of your pages. So this one has the big tab and the little tab, and this one just has, you know, it just depends on which folders you get, whether it's the left one, the right one, or the middle tabbed one. This one is just one a little bit longer and one a little bit shorter. Here's the same thing again on this one, and this one again has the big tab and the little tab. So, you know, when you'll have to kind of play around with this and decide, okay, you know, where do I want these, what order do I want those, how will that work out the best for you? And so you'll have to kind of figure that out. That's why the one of leaving the tabs on, you know, takes a little more thinking maybe. Oh, and you do have to go back then when you've cut it and round some edges so that, you know, you've got everything worked out. Looks nice and you're not with some rounded edges and some square. Okay. Now, to cut the blanks or the foundation for the smooth end album, you do the same thing. Cut the 1/8 inch off to get yourself to 11.5. And then before you cut down, and this is the fold is on the bottom and the tabs are on the top in your trimmer, or if you're using a ruler and a pencil or to make your line. When you're making the smooth edge, you're going to cut all these tabs off. So you have to find the lowest point, and that will kind of vary from folder brand to folder brand, and even a little bit whether you're using a left, a middle, or a right. Well, I guess the left and the rights will probably be the same, but the middle one is the one that could vary. So look at your folders and find the one that has the lowest point here, because that's where you're going to cut, and then cut all the rest of them to match so that you know, you'll have all your pages the same length. So it's real tempting to say, well, it looks like this little ear thing, yeah, this little ear thing is the low point. But actually, it's this line on this brand. It's this line here that on the middle tabbed folders, that's the lowest point. So that's what I lined up on my trimmer when I cut. Okay, and you'll say, well, what is that measurement? Well, you know, you're going to have to see. There's going to be a little variation in the width of your album according to what brand you use. All right. Okay, so then, so you cut off the corner, your 1/8 on the edge over here. Then you cut off your tabs. This is for the smooth one. And then make your half line cut. And you will end up, after you've cut your 2 file folders, you're going to end up with 4. I have 4 here, but I've already started to make my hinge. And so there are 4 here. Here's 2 from the 1/2 of the first file folder. Here's the other half, okay? And I already have my hinges put in here on this one. What do you need for hinges? You need some either file folder material or some cardstock, and you cut it 2 inches wide and score at 1 inch, and use your bone folder. And so you have this hinge or structure strip. Is the gentleman crafter Jim Hankins. He's the one taught us to make structure strips or hinges. So you say, how long is this? Well, it just depends. If you're using scraps, you're going to want that hinge to be as long or just shy, just a hair shorter than whatever the height of your album is. Okay, and if you're using a legal size album, or you're making a legal size album from your legal size file folder, that's going to be wider. I know this is 5 3/4, but yours might be different if you're using something different. So I cut my strips just shy, just a whisper shy of 5 3/4. And I put mine together with score tape, but you could use whatever suits you. I just wouldn't use anything that is too wet, because file folders they're not as strong as like heavyweight cardstock. So yeah, and so you're going to need to put whatever kind of adhesive you're using, red line, that red tape, or you're going to use some quick dry, whatever you're going to use. That needs to go on the outside of your hinge. Okay, so I'm putting 2 lines on here on the front. I won't do them all. I already did one to kind of show you how it goes, and then I'll demonstrate one. But it makes a real nice, when you pile your file folders up with your hinges in between, and you need 3 hinges because you have your first folder, and you need half a folder, and then you need a hinge. The second one, you need another hinge. The third one, you need another hinge, and then the last one just goes on because there's, you're only using 4. Okay. So I'll show you that when I get this done. Okay. Now, let's look here at this so you can kind of see. Here's my book. Here's my spine. And I just piled up my file folders. That's basically what you're doing with hinges in between each of the signatures. Okay. And a signature is half of a file folder. You get 2 signatures out of one file folder, 2 out of the other, so that makes the 4. Okay. So I already did this one where I put my hinge here, and then another half a file folder is going to go on top and hold that. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to take and line this up. Be sure that you're working on the folded edge. You don't want to put your tape up there. And I'm going to get this where you can see it for sure. Oh, this is going to turn off. I hope this isn't going to turn off on me. But I just line it up, and you could put, like some kind of little clips or something on there to hold it. And I just start my tape and get myself lined up really well. Okay, pull the rest of the tape, and I want that edge, nice and smooth there. If for some reason you had just a tag over on one side or the other, you shouldn't have, because you cut it just a hair shorter. But if you did, then you could always trim that. But there's no really fixing this one, so you have to be really careful with that. All right, so we did one layer, and then I'm just going to reach in there and grab the other one. It can't go anywhere but straight. So we've got that one. Now you're going to pile, so that gives you, your hinge here. So now we're going to put another page, and be sure you've got your open edge there. You're going to put your next one on. Get it really carefully lined up. Can you see what I'm doing here? I'll get it more on the screen. Like I say, it's nice to put a clip on it sometimes that kind of will hold it for you. And get this. Come on, let go. Get it started a little bit and line yourself up as perfectly as you can. Okay. And see that your other side is. Pull out your tape. And there you go. Just as smooth and nice. Then you still have one little section to pull out here. And you can reach inside. Just grab the end there and pull it down. Well, come on. You came off once and now you hopped back on there for me. There you go. Let's pull that off. That has to be smooth then. Okay, and so then you just do the same thing with your third strip. That will put your fourth signature on, and you will have your book ready to go. You do exactly the same procedure with the pages that have the tabs on, but I hope that kind of explains what we're doing here. So happy crafting, and I would love to see if you make some of these. Leave a comment or a video response, or I'm on Instagram. Love to hear from you how this works out. I hope this little tutorial will help you. All right, take care. God bless. Bye-bye.